built this city. We built this city on rock and roll.
Hey guys, how you doing? Well, I'm continuing on from yesterday and Ramblings of a Madman, Future Madman Part 2. So I was up to the part where I just arrived at this gallery and I'd seen that they had a sign saying life drawing classes, inquire within. So I walked into the gallery and the gallery was actually in a basement. So I walked down the stairs and like they're really old and creaky, and all of a sudden I came out into this amazing gallery. The only way I can describe it, it was like something out of Harry Potter. There were so many different interesting pieces of artwork. There was lots of books, art supplies, and there was also like all easels set up like a studio for where obviously life drawings take place, and there was like people's work on the easels of they'd been doing of the model that were just so cool. And anyway, I looked around and I went over to the counter and couldn't see anybody, and I just sang out hello, and next minute I heard this voice saying, "Yeah, I'm down the back. Come on, just come on down. I'm just busy for a second. I won't be long, but just come down." So I walked down to the back of the gallery, and there's this lady. She's about, I don't know, early 50s, doing some work on an easel on one of her canvas paintings. And I said, "Hi, I was just inquiring about your life drawing classes." And she goes, "Oh yeah, cool, great." She goes, "It's 8 o'clock every Wednesday, 2 hours, maybe a bit longer, depending how many people come. You know, bring your own materials, blah blah blah." I said, "Cool." I said, "Well, I really haven't done a lot of life drawing before. I said, I've just moved back to Innisfail, and you know, I feel like I need to do something creative, and I thought that I'd just give life drawing a go." And she was like, "Yeah, great." She goes, "It'd be cool to see you." She goes, "We don't normally get a lot of males here, but you know, you're more than welcome." I went, "Yeah, cool, right." So she said, "Oh, do you want a cup of tea?" And I said, "Oh yeah, sure, cool." And then she made me a cup of tea, and then she started explaining about what she was doing and her work, and I was just so interested to hear her talk about art and the passion in her voice. And she was a bit eccentric, but she was just amazing. So I started going to life drawing classes, and the first one I went to, I was absolutely nervous. I was like, "Oh, what am I going to do? I'm not going to." I just didn't feel open, and you could really tell in my first drawing it was just like I was really constricted, and yeah, because I felt like I had to impress. But I mean, I was young and naive then, and you know, you get mature as you get older, and you realise that that's just an ego-based thing to try and, you know, to impress. So this woman really helped me become free in my art. I consider her one of my sun gods, and when I say that, I mean she's a person that happened in my life at the right place at the right time, who without actually learning from her and meeting her, I don't think I'd be at the stage where I am today, because she taught me how to be open with my work, about pushing myself all the time, about experimenting, about verbalizing my work. And she was always at me to go to university. She was always on to me. She goes, "Gary, you got talent. But galleries won't recognise you unless you have a university degree." And, you know, I was thinking, yeah, well, she's got a point there. And, you know, she was actually an ex-high school art teacher who decided to set up her own art business. And, of course, she's going to push education. So she did eventually talk me into doing an art degree, and I'll talk about that as another rambling about my experience with university education and the whole system. But I just attended workshops and with different travelling artists, and I started to learn a lot of interesting techniques, but mainly while I was in Innisfail I learnt to be fearless, I guess. I didn't have anything to lose, so I basically could do what I want without having to feel like, you know, there's other people judging me. And that was important, and those 3 years were spent cutting my teeth, so to speak, and building up a portfolio, because I had thought that I would eventually go to university, and I did need to have a portfolio together to get in, because that's usually a requirement of the entrance, is that you have an interview with your portfolio, so they can see that you've got some sort of skill in some areas. So I then started exhibiting with, she got me to join their local art society, so I started exhibiting in their shows, and it was, art was just, I just decided then and there that art would always play a part in my life. And you know, I had a lot to deal with my mother and her suffering, because slowly things got worse. She was on an oxygen machine, you know, was plugged into the wall, and she could only walk around the house with this oxygen machine and cord, and she couldn't go out, and she was shortness of breath. And that's a lot to watch your mother go like that. And I was strong for her though. I was like, oh well, I'm here for your mum, and you know, I'll be with you. And I guess my art was my saviour, and it was the one thing that when I thought about art I could just forget about all the things that were happening in real life. It was like I could be and do something that was in my control, as well as, you know, having that feeling that I could escape at any time I wanted to. But that's how I really got back into art. So that's that story. But stay tuned to more ramblings of a future madman. Got lots of interesting stories to tell you, and I'll want to talk about my university experiences. Okay guys, later.
Say you don't know me, I recognize my face. Say you don't